Hi YouTubers. So I've been kind of dreading making this video. I haven't made a video in months, as you guys know. And there's been a reason for that. It's kind of very much COVID related. I want to show you guys my Discus tank. As you can see, that's JoJo, if you remember JoJo. She's got the J and the O up on her head. And the bubble letters, if you can still see that, that's her. And this is a snakeskin guy. These are the only two Discus I have left. And it's kind of a sad tale, but it's reality. And I knew I would eventually make this video to share it with you, but it's depressing and sad, and I just wanted to avoid it. But today I decided to do it. So I've got a little Cory cat down here. There's a phantom Placo in there. You can just see his tail sticking out right there. So what happened was, in my tank here that I've had for many years now, probably try to figure out how many years I've had this tank, like 7 years. My Discus are very old, and they were very happy and very healthy for a long time. And then a few months ago, we had a really bad storm, and it was during COVID, as you guys know. Our town was locked down for a while. And one of the problems that I had was getting beef heart cubes from my supplier, who I still highly recommend, simplydiscus.com, if you want to get the best frozen, freeze-dried, not frozen, freeze-dried beef heart. No, I'm saying that wrong. If you want to get the very best in freeze-dried worms, let me get it so I don't screw this up anymore. Yeah, I just woke up, so I haven't even had my coffee yet. Right here. This is the deal. Freeze-dried blackworms. The very best, okay? I've been feeding my fish this since the very beginning, and it keeps them healthy and happy, and I never have to worry about parasites or anything like that. My supplier has been very reliable, and everything was copacetic and good for years. So what happened was, a few months ago, we had a bad storm, and there was multiple problems with my fish. So the first thing was, I had run out of the blackworms, and even though I had ordered like a couple months in ahead, so I didn't run out, what happened was, these come from Australia, and the guy who gets them couldn't get them because of shipping problems. As you know, we've had all these crazy shipping problems, supposedly due to COVID, but also due to the crazy restrictions and mandates that California had put on shipping. So a lot of this has to do with regulations and COVID and yada, yada, yada. So whatever, however you want to see that problem playing out, whatever. It was a problem. I couldn't get my blackworms. So my fish were just on flake food and pellets and just their other food that I give them, including beef heart, but no more freeze-dried blackworms. So I felt bad for them, so I decided to find another supplier. The only one I could find was in California, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to throw them under the bus, because I can't prove it was their feed that caused the problem, but I can tell you that this was a closed system. All the food that I had been supplying them was the same food that they had had for many, many years. And right after I started giving them this new freeze-dried blackworms from a California company, they started getting sick. Every single fish. And I'm pretty sure that it was Hex Hexamita. They started getting all the typical symptoms of Hexamita, which is hole in the head disease. They had holes in their heads. It was horrible. So I had gone through, I know how to treat diseases. I went through and I did everything in my power to save this tank and these fish. And as you can see, the only ones I have left are these two. The snakeskin, who still does not look great. You know, he looks a little dark, not too happy. And this girl, Jojo. They're a little freaked out right now. They don't like me filming, so she's not sick or anything. She's perfectly healthy, but she's acting weird right now because I'm standing here filming this right now, and they don't like it. But anyway, so it was really, really sad because I freaking love these fish. Literally like my little pets, you know? And I lost all but two. So it wasn't just the fact that they had Hexamita. We had a really bad storm and we lost power in our neighborhood. Everybody was out of power. Now I have a generator, and normally if I lose power, I hook up my generator and there's never a problem. I make sure my tank is plugged in and no worries, right? So this time we were told by the power company that the power's coming on in 2 hours. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna hook up my generator. You know, it's kind of a big process, and I don't have the kind where you can just flip a switch. I have to literally go out and, you know, gas it up and do all this stuff. So because it was coming on in 2 hours, I didn't do it. 2 hours go by, the power doesn't come on. Needless to say, this went on over and over. They kept telling me 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. And it didn't come on until the next day. And that was my mistake because I should have just put the generator on. But I kept thinking, well, they kept telling me that it's coming on 2 hours. Anyway, my tank went without heat overnight, and that was another stressor put onto the fish. So now my fish have Hexamita, they have cold water, and it's just a cascade from there. And anyone that has Discus, you know what I'm talking about. These fish are susceptible to change. They don't like change. They like consistency. They like warm water. They like the same healthy food that doesn't have parasites in it. You cannot introduce new fish with these guys without having problems unless you quarantine. You know the deal. So yeah, it was really horrible, and I started losing fish rapidly. But that was a few months ago, so these guys are okay. There's no sign of hex in these guys. And I'm down to one Cory cat. I lost a Cory cat. I don't even know why that one died. And I gave away my giant Placo. I had a really big Placo, and it was just getting so huge, and it was way too big for this tank. And it just made the floor so dirty constantly. I got rid of him. So he's living happily in a big tank at a friend's house. But yeah, so this is the status of my tank right now. It's kind of depressing. I'm down to 2 Discus. I don't want to introduce any more because I just feel like they couldn't handle another shock to their system after everything they've been through. So I'm going to have these 2 guys until they die of natural causes, and that's it. So that is the story, and this is what happens in fish keeping. You know, I'm sure everybody that has fish has stories like these. It's just part of it, you know. We try to give them the very best conditions, the very best home, and things happen. COVID really screwed a lot of people up. It killed people. Well, it killed my fish too. I really believe that. If it wasn't for COVID, I would have had those worms. If it wasn't for the storm, and, you know, COVID had a lot to do with that, the power getting back on, just because, you know, they didn't have enough employees, and it's affected everyone and everything, as you know, and we're all just trying to do the best we can under the circumstances that we've been dealt, you know, and that's all you can do. I'm not trying to say that this is the biggest deal in the world. I know, you know, humans are out there struggling, and it's a real deal, and it's a real problem. So I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I just wanted to let you know what the status of my tank is. Down to 2 Discus that I've had for many, many years now. And it is what it is. So I just wanted to give you an update. I'll probably do an orchid video soon too. And I don't have any real tragedy stories, at least with my orchids, so that's good. But, you know, I hope your fish are doing good. If anybody has any questions about what happened or my fish or the tank, feel free to ask in the comments. I appreciate any likes and subscribes. It really helps me out. And, you know, I'll try to make more videos, and definitely happier videos than this, because I've got other stuff I can talk about and other stuff I can share about my own experiences that are not as sad as this story. But, you know, sometimes things are sad. It's been a rough couple of years for everybody, and I just hope that we're nearing the end of this plague and the end of bad times, because we really need some good times in the world. So peace out, guys.